All right, hey everyone. You should be making good progress on your comic books. This isn't going to be anything really new as far as comic books go. This is more like a technique demo, and ideally, I want you to be working faster and treating your comics not so much like they are. Treat them like they're not precious. Treat them like you can just knock them out with no big deal. Just quickly get it done. I'm going to show you some stuff that I was putting together for some samples for Marvel, but I never got around to actually doing it. I think I got a job and it took me off track. But anyway, usually I start by just throwing a quick doodle. And this is Thor. I think you can tell by the ears. But I'll usually get a pose that I like, and then I'll start working on top of that pose. So here, my concept was to have Thor standing in the rain and lightning striking his hand, but him enjoying the feel of rain on his face. So I'll trace over my sketch. I'll do the sketch really tiny, and then I'll blow it up to the size I want to draw it, and then I'll put tracing paper over it, and then I'll try to trace the lines. I wasn't quite happy with how this turned out, but I also don't want to draw hair. I'll separate the hair and the helmet to a different page and then just kind of put it together later, so you can kind of see where that would match up on him. Just tracing paper, layers of tracing paper. And this was going to be the Hulk. I don't remember what I was going to do with Hulk here. I was going to have Spider-Man down on the ground, laying there, and someone's grabbing his shirt, pulling him up off the ground. That's what this is over here. This was inspired by the Wizard of Oz. This is like the Cowardly Lion. I wanted to get a Cowardly Lion with fear in his face. And I'd started this, but anyway, I started it, and I'll make a copy and I'll apply tone to it, pencils, right? Then I'll copy the pencils onto gray paper and draw with white to get the contrasts going. And then I'll start coloring in Photoshop. And a lot of these, I start something and then I'll just use it as a demo in class. And that's kind of what these are. They're not as polished as I would like them to be. They're not as thought out color-wise as I would like them to be. I don't remember what this was. I don't know what I was thinking or what it was for. But anyway, I was just trying to figure something out. And same with this pose. I'm not sure what this was going to be or who it was. I want to say Thor, but I really don't remember. Oh, okay, this is Iron Man. Very obviously Iron Man. The movie, I don't remember if the movie had come out yet, but anyway, see how I'm just roughly knocking in the shapes? It's not super clean, but it was enough for me to copy it onto tone paper and start coloring it. Now, I colored it in Photoshop, and let me show you how I did that. What I do is I bring in the drawing, right? And in this case, I cut out the background. And there's a mask. You can see the mask over here. Then I set that to multiply. Then I add more dark shapes in the back to get a nice silhouette of the character. We should still be able to tell who it is just from the silhouette. And then on the layer above, I will add the lights. So darks below, lights above, and that's pretty much it. And then from here, I just colorize, and this is the easiest way I do it. Control Alt Shift E. Put it on the proper layer. Control Alt Shift E. So now I've got a new layer of Iron Man. And so I don't mess this up, I'm just going to copy it. Control A, Control N, and create. So there's a new document, and paste. So we have our black and white Iron Man here, all in a layer by himself. I like using adjustment layers, but you can just do straight up brightness, contrast, whatever. I will choose hue and saturation. And to me, Iron Man's mostly red, so I am just going to hit colorize and crank up the color red. Okay, so that gets quite a bit done very quickly. And I will say okay, and I might label this reds. And then for his face, I will just grab the lasso tool and just draw around his face. And again, I will choose the hue and saturation tool, colorize, move it towards yellow, and crank the color up. I want it to be a little more orange, yellow, and then that's okay. But see how I didn't really care about getting it perfect with the red? All I have to do now is hit the eraser, and let me zoom in. I just hit the eraser and oops, X. I hit the eraser and it makes this part back to red. And X again to fix the little yellow part down the bottom of his chin. And maybe there's more yellow on him. Not really sure. I need a picture of Iron Man to remember, but I'm just gonna turn this part yellow, and maybe his arms. And I'm not doing it super clean or anything. Maybe his leg. But it's good enough for the demo. It's most of the way there, right? I don't have to perfectly get it right, you know. But this is just to show that you can get the majority of your piece done very quickly. And I'm switching just between black and white, which either hides or reveals more yellow, or gold, if you will. So if I hit X, that's applying black. And if I hit X, now it's applying yellow. But those are the two main colors of Iron Man, right? This isn't about doing a finished piece in this way. This is about getting the piece done quickly. Any piece that you're working on, done quickly. Because this took me less than 5 minutes. So I think that's a reasonable amount of time for you to crank it. Now, what I would do is I would create more layers on top. So if he was in the sky, I would, apply blue reflections. Oh shoot, let me just go ahead and do that. New layer. And let me grab a color. Blue. Sky blue. Maybe there's some blue reflections. Oops. B. Oops. Wrong brush. Where's my brushes? I just use this for soft round. I don't know where my pressure sensitivity is, but we have blue highlights on him, from the sky above hitting whatever planes are on his body. And then I'm just gonna hit the eraser and more accurately tweak some of those shapes on top. And if I don't like the way these little highlights appear, I can dial back the opacity or change the hue. Like maybe he's in the jungle, and then in that case it's more of a green as opposed to a green jungle, a dark green jungle. And maybe I use the smudge tool to kind of get a little bit more of an organic feel to these highlights. And it's easy to mess these up pretty quickly, so just so you're aware. And maybe I would erase some of it so it wouldn't be so bold. But again, I didn't really spend that much time on it. It's just super quick. And the less you care, the faster you become. I mean, that's really the trick. Okay? So if I can do this in 5 minutes, you guys can color your homework. So I'm just going to show you some more other pieces in this folder that I came across. Here's Deadpool. And this is kind of the beginning sketch that I had for the idea that I wanted for Deadpool. And I'll doodle roughly like this just to figure out what I want to do and then clean it up afterwards. If I need to figure out anatomy, I may do that separately and then drop it back in. Like here's me trying to figure out his arm. And here's me not happy with the legs, just kind of playing. And I cleaned his arms up a bit. And then I put him on gray paper, applied some value, tried coloring it. I think I did this with Photoshop, but I wasn't really quite happy with how that turned out. I think I was talking about textures in the class I taught before. But here's how I started Wolverine, right? I think I've shown this to the class before. Here's Wolverine. Cleaned up the lines, got that silhouette going. More line detail, tone paper. Now, a lot of people don't do this, so it's kind of optional. You could do this straight up in Photoshop. And then applied some lighting in Photoshop, and I needed to put him in a background because it was going to be dark. And notice that for all the detail that I have over here, all the shapes and bumps, it gets lost in the darks, you know. Deadpool, cleaned him up a little bit. This was what the piece was going to be like. I hadn't figured out what I was going to do with the background, but I knew this was going to be the lighting. I think maybe like a car or truck was going to hit him or something in the middle of the road. This is the start of Galactus. Line work on Galactus. My concept was that he was going to be sinking into the ground, into the lava down below. Tone paper and white. I did it a close-up on his head to get the details that I couldn't get when his head was smaller. So this is like the whole page. This is doing the values in a program called ArtRage. I was kind of enjoying ArtRage at the time. And a silhouette of Galactus so that I could put the whites so they pop out on the darks. Same deal there. Then applying color. You can see how I'm trying to get the lava going at the bottom. Silver Surfer. And here's my sketch doodle. And I do these really, really tiny, very small, you know, because it doesn't take time to work really small. Tone paper and white. I was trying some filters. I was trying to see if there was a filter that would, you know, harden the edges and push the contrast, but I wasn't happy with how that turned out. But anyway, that's kind of how I would do this comic book homework if I were you. Just crank it out. This is like super, super quick. Like if I filled this background with a gray. Oops, sorry. Oh, yeah, the colorizing the red. This layer of reds makes everything below red. I would have to do this. And now that part's yellow. Well, let's hit Alt and click on the line so it only affects the layer below. So, done. All problems all solved. Oh, let's do this again with this layer up here. Up here we can click on it. So now that the lines fit onto Iron Man, and then we can figure out the background. If you hold down the Alt key or the Option key on the Mac and click on the line in between the two layers, then it will only affect those layers. See how all my mistakes suddenly pop out? But that's all I wanted to show you guys, that you can color your stuff very quickly. Like, again, I did this in a few minutes. So I'm looking forward to seeing what you produce, and I'll see you when I see you. All right.